Good morning, everyone. Good to be here again. My name is Bob, and I'm the teacher and virtues facilitator at the Charles J. Andrew Youth and Family Treatment Center in Sheshatshiu, Labrador. And we are working through the Family Virtues Guide, and we're at the last strategy, which is Parent as Counselor. I'm offering the art of spiritual companioning, strategy 5. Now, I just want to mention before I go any further is that, if you want to reach out to us, the phone number, of course, to call is area code 709-497-8995, extension 227, and speak with Dylan. And Dylan will certainly fill you in on everything that's necessary for you to attend our treatment center. Our Facebook page is Charles J. Andrew Youth and Family Treatment Center. And if you're not a member of that group, then ask to join. And our website, you can visit our website at www.cjay.org. cjay.org. And so if you have an addiction of some sort, whether it be alcohol, drugs, gambling, and you need a hand, you need somebody to give you some assistance, then by all means reach out, okay? We're here to help you. So we've looked at feelings, helping children make moral choices. We talked about the open door. In other words, the way we ask questions. Don't ask questions where you're just going to get a yes-no answer and that's it. Ask them in such a way that the child will be able to empty their cup. They'll be able to expand on what's going on rather than just short little answer, okay? And offering receptive silence, that one, of course, not just be quiet, but actually, let the person know through your actions, through your, facial expressions and so that you are paying attention to them. You are listening. Make eye contact. Okay, so that's receptive silence. And it said, if when you think you have listened enough, listen some more. Right. And remember the saying goes, don't just say something. Stand there. Don't just say something, stand there. So, our next little part we're looking at with that, of course, Parent as Counselor, is ask cup emptying questions. Okay, we'll look at that specifically. Allow a person to empty his cup by asking cup emptying questions that are open-ended and show the utmost non-judgmental curiosity. Use what, how, and when questions, not who and never why. Not who, and never use questions that begin with why. The reason for that is that when you ask someone, why do you feel sad, it can feel like an interrogation or a request for an instant analysis. We are famous for asking our children for an assessment of their behavior. We're famous for asking our children for example, we'll ask one like this: why did you hit your brother? What are we expecting? A thesis on sibling rivalry? When we ask who questions such as, who were you playing with when this happened? It is information gathering so that we can make some kind of judgment. In companioning, you don't have to understand the details. You only have to be present to allow the other to hear himself. Now that's whether it's a child or an adult. It's the same procedure. Okay? You don't have to understand the details of everything that went on. You only have to be present to allow the other to hear himself. Good cup emptying questions can be very general, or they can zero in on the feelings the speaker has expressed. Take your cues from the speaker. Here are some examples of general questions intended to allow the child's cup to empty. Okay, here's some examples. The child says, "I'm never going back to that stupid school." And then the parent says, "Oh? I hate school and I'm never going back." The parent says, "What do you hate about it?" "The teacher is mean and she doesn't like me." And the parent comes back with, "How is she mean?" Or she could ask, "What gives you the feeling she doesn't like you?" You see how the child is now able to expand on what the feelings are? The child says, "She's always yelling at me." Parent comes back with, "How is that for you?" And the child says, "Embarrassing. All my friends are watching." So you see how you're getting the feelings out of the child, that you now know what's going on. That's the reason for, picking the questions that you ask. Let the child fully express the experience. Empty her cup before you companion her toward resolution. Sometimes the cup emptying will be the only thing you need to do. A parent can easily bypass the child's valuable emotional, spiritual process of discovering her own feelings and choosing how to act in light of those feelings. We minimize. "You know your teacher really likes you." We preach. "You don't have a choice. You have to go to school. Don't you want to get a good job?" We rescue. "Do you want me to talk to your teacher?" None of these responses gives the child the opportunity to discover her own resolution or to tap into her own virtues. Cup emptying questions can also be quite focused. One of the most effective cup emptying approaches, once the child has named a feeling, is to ask a more focused question such as, "What is the most difficult part of this?" Or, "What embarrasses you most when the teacher yells at you?" When someone is worried, ask something like, "What worries you the most?" Or if the child says things like, "I don't know what to do," ask something like, "What is most confusing?" Children often say, "I don't know." Well, try asking, "What don't you know?" Asking "what does it mean to you when whatever" helps a person to assess the meaning of the situation so that he can then master both his feelings and his choices. So again, avoid questions that are short answer, that gives you a no or a yes answer. Ask questions where the child has the opportunity to empty their cup. So you can focus on sensory cues. While someone is sharing, if anything arises that has to do with a visual image or one of the other senses, zero in on it. The perceptions of the body are a pathway to the truths of the soul. The perceptions of the body are a pathway to the truths of the soul. Focus on what he is seeing, hearing, sensing. For example, if a child is describing a terrible nightmare of a scary monster with sharp teeth, rather than trying to reassure him with an invalidating remark like, "You're safe, there aren't any monsters," respond precisely to what he has said. Something like, "Oh, a scary monster with sharp teeth." Or you can ask, "What were those teeth like?" The child will then be able to release and discharge the fear or whatever emotion he is feeling. A child who has something coming up which will take courage is naturally going to feel some fear. That is a good time to offer companioning. The child might say, "I have a knot in my stomach. I'm so scared to go on stage today." Parent says, "What does the knot feel like?" "It's right here," moving hand around his abdomen. parent looks at the spot with both compassion and detached curiosity, not a furrowed eyebrow, like, oh, you can't be serious. Parent does not jump up for the Kilpectate diarrhea stopper, right? Helps with the bad stomach. He might say, how big is the knot? Now, how big is it? It fills my whole stomach, and then it goes up my neck. And the parent says, a big lump all the way up. She's not invalidating it. She's listening and allowing the child to speak. If the child loses interest in the conversation at this point, and he may have emptied his cup somewhat, the parent can say something like, going on stage sounds scary. I admire your courage. An important time to focus on perception cues is when a child is injured. Focus on the injury. That's a real red bump you have. It may actually speed the healing process because of the thinking process, right? Reflect feelings using key words used by the speaker, or focus on the perceptual physical cues. This is like a dance, and in the beginning, you are definitely following the speaker's lead. Now, the goal of spiritual companioning, whether offered to a child or an adult, is to listen them into their own clarity by giving them the chance to hear their own feelings and thoughts. You are listening them into their own clarity, not just constantly spewing advice, right? Which pushes them away. So, I hope some of that's clear for you. The bottom line is that, is basically to ask questions that will allow the person, whether it be a child or an adult, to be able to expand on what's going on. Don't ask questions that kind of shut them up. Ask questions where they, there's no way they can continue talking with you, So I hope that's clear. And if you have the book, of course, read it over again, right? Read it over again. Think about some of the questions that you actually ask when something happens to your child or you're talking to an adult. Think about some of the questions that you actually ask and whether or not you think they might have been appropriate or inappropriate, because that can help as well. Okay? So a lot of rain here today and yesterday and the day before, and it looks like for the rest of the week here on this August 26th. Think about it. 4 months from today will be Boxing Day. That's something. Where is the time going? Anyway, the virtue that was picked for the day is the virtue of loyalty. The quote, "Those who keep their minds fixed on me, who worship me always with unwavering faith and concentration, these are the very best." And that's from Hinduism, from Gita. What is loyalty? Loyalty is standing up for something you believe in, having unwavering faith. Loyalty is being faithful to your family, friends, or ideals. It is standing by a person or a cause when the going gets tough, as well as when things are good. When you're a loyal friend, even if someone disappoints or hurts you, you still hang in there with them. When you practice loyalty, you don't change from day to day. You stay true to someone or something unless you have unless you have a reason to believe that your loyalty has been betrayed. Loyalty is based on commitments, ones you make and plan to keep forever. Here I have to say, of course, that if you make commitments to children, keep them. Don't betray your trust in children. If you tell them you're going to take them swimming 6 o'clock today, when 5 o'clock arrives and you're ready to go, or 5:30, don't say, I don't feel like going now. You made the commitment. You must follow true on that commitment, or you will lose the trust of your children. Okay? Very important. When you practice loyalty, people know what you stand for. Your friends and family know that you will support them no matter what happens. When you're loyal in your commitment to others, they know that nothing can come between you. Now, I just want to mention here too, with loyalty, like parents have loyalty to their children because there are heartstrings that are attached to their children. They do anything for their children. So can you think of things that might come between a parent's loyalty and their children? What is it that can come between there? And of course, alcohol, drugs, gambling. Those things can come between you and your children if you're abusing those things, okay? It's not that mom and dad don't really love their children and are really, really loyal to their children. It's just that the substances that are in between is not allowing them to reach the children the way they should. So keep that in mind as well. So why should we bother to practice loyalty? Without loyalty, people would change their commitments as often as they change their clothes. One day they stand for this, the next day they stand for that. You can't count on people who are not loyal, because when the going gets tough, disloyal people go away. Those that counted on them for support are betrayed. Disloyal people promised that they will be there forever. The next day, they're gone. You know, somebody is putting up a fence. Oh yeah, I help you with your fence, no sweat. Yes, sir, I'll be there. When are you starting? Saturday morning, I'll be there, you know. So Friday, all the materials arrive and the friends disappear. That's not loyalty, is it? When you practice loyalty, people know they can count on you. People who are worthy of your loyalty can trust that you will never have to stand alone. When you practice loyalty, you build friendships that last forever. So how do you practice loyalty? You practice loyalty by making a commitment to a person, your family, your ideals. You have to be very careful about choosing what you commit yourself to, because if you are loyal, you will stand behind that commitment for a long time. Be sure that a person, belief, continues to be worthy of your loyalty. If someone tries to use your loyalty for a bad purpose or breaks faith with you, you need to decide whether it feels right to you to go on being loyal. Now, I have a little story after this that points this out. Okay, it's a real interesting story. Loyalty is being strong in what you believe or care about. It is safeguarding something or someone you believe in. When you're loyal, you support a person or a cause during good times and bad. If you're loyal to your family, you stand up for your brother or sister when others are acting unjustly toward them. When you're loyal, you are worthy of trust. So, congratulations, you are practicing loyalty when you are supportive to people and ideas you believe in. You're practicing loyalty when you are faithful through good times and bad. When you stick with your commitment, unless you have a really good reason to change it. So let's say you're taking your children swimming at 6, 5 o'clock comes and you go out to take them all swimming and realize that you have 4 flat tires. That's different. The children can see the flat tires. You can try frantically to get it all repaired so that you can make it swimming, but it makes sense if you can't get the tires repaired, right? So like I said, stick with your commitment unless you have a really good reason to change it. Don't allow blind loyalty to lead you into trouble. Don't let others come between you and someone or something you care about. And I should add here, don't let substances come between you and someone you care about. Protect what you are loyal to whenever it is threatened. And here's the affirmation. So again, you're doing this at home. If you have the book and you're practicing this with your children at home and you're about to read this particular affirmation, that's for the adults and the children, you could, of course, read part of it. You say, I am loyal to the people I care about, and everybody else recites that. Then you say, I am a good friend through good times and bad. People recite that. I am loyal to what I know is right. I do not allow friendship to lead me into trouble. Again, like all the virtues, absolutely amazing. The virtue of loyalty, absolutely amazing. Not that you probably didn't understand that already, but it kind of pinpoints things. It pinpoints them, and I think that's important. Now, a little story I promised you, and it comes from this little sentence we read here, which was, I'll just read that to you again now. If someone tries to use your loyalty for a bad purpose or breaks faith with you, you need to decide whether it feels right to you to go on being loyal. Now listen to this story. Please. Okay, here it is. It comes from Daily Meditations on the Virtues, Sacred Moments, again by Linda Cavanaugh Popoff, the same person that wrote the Family Virtues Guide. And here's the story she included in her book. The young psychologist felt a tightening in his gut as he walked toward her hospital room. This was Mary's third admission, each time for a more severe battering than the last by her alcoholic husband. How can I get through to her? He wondered. She lay on her side, turned away from the door. Mary, may I come in? She turned and managed to pull herself up against the pillow. Her face was half swathed in bandages, her arm in a cast. She managed a pained smile, and he had the odd feeling. She felt sorry for him. Mary, this can't continue. Think of yourself. Think of the children. I know, Doc, I know, she said, more to placate him than an admission of truth, just to please him. How can I get through to her? Or how can I get through to you, Mary? Your life is in danger. Don't you see that? He saw her mouth tighten slightly with a resolve he recognized all too well. As the late afternoon light filtered through the slats of his office blinds, he sat leaning back in the chair, arms folded behind his head. I'm going about this all wrong. I'm fighting her, and all she does is resist. How can I help her? Why does she put up with it? In a flash, it came to him. He got up so suddenly, the chair skittered out from under him and banged into the wall. He raced to the elevator, and moments later was in her room. He tried to sound calm. Mary, mind a visit? Always time for you, Doc. Mary, I owe you an apology. I'm really sorry. She looked shocked. For what? I've been wrong about you. I've been blaming you for staying with your husband, but now I see what you're doing. You do? What? You're keeping the family together. You are one of the most loyal people I have ever known. You're amazing. Her eyes filled with tears. That's all I've ever tried to do, Doc. They sat together and smiled into each other's eyes. The day after her release from hospital, Mary packed up her children and went to a shelter. She filed charges later that week. To what am I loyal, and when are my loyalties misplaced? So at the end of the story here, there's a little quote on the bottom of the page here, and it says, to what am I loyal, and when are my loyalties misplaced? And that, I think, is very important for some people. Sticking with something because you are loyal to them and that you want to keep a family together. But you take this woman, she was beat up 3 times, and now she's in the hospital with half of her face bandaged up. She's got a broken arm, and the doctor is, basically saying, why are you staying with him? Why don't you leave him? What in the name of goodness are you doing? And of course, she got her back up to that. And she wants to keep her family together. And when he changed his tune and didn't blame her for it anymore, then she managed to get up the courage to leave him, right? 3 times? I think that was enough, you know. I hope you enjoyed that story. A quote here. A true friend loves you enough to support you and to confront you. Get that one? A true friend loves you enough to support you and to confront you. Only the person who has faith in himself is able to be faithful to others. And that's Heinrich Fromm. Now, only the person who has faith in himself is able to be faithful to others. So you have to have faith in yourself. Something for you to think about. What is it like when a friend is not loyal to you? What's it like when a friend is not loyal to you? And this one, how can you be loyal to yourself? How can you be loyal to yourself? And remember, you have to be loyal to yourself in order to be loyal to others. So give that some contemplation. Give that some thought. And see if it makes sense and whether or not you are loyal to yourself. Okay? So, that's it for today. I will be with you again on Friday. And because we're getting close to the end of this particular chapter now, which is chapter 2. So spiritual companioning is getting close to coming to an end. I certainly hope you're, learning some things from it, like I have. So don't forget our phone number, of course, 497-8995, extension 227. And speak with Dylan about an intake package if you need one. Visit our webpage at cjay.org, www.cjay.org, or visit our Facebook page and ask to become a member of the Facebook page. Okay, Charles J. Andrew Youth and Family Treatment Center. And if you need to reach out to us, please drum up your courage and try and make that phone call, or message somebody that works here. Even message me, and I can make sure that information gets where it needs to go, okay? For your benefit. Okay, so until Friday, stay safe, everyone. Get used to wearing the mask. And let's not have any coronaviruses, okay? So until then, take care. Bye for now.